I'm here with Saskatchewan's own The Grid Pickers. Did I get that right? The Grid Pickers, or just like Grid Pickers?
The
No,
Grid
the Grid
Pickers.
Pickers.
Okay, we will find everything out about you guys that we can. Now, thankfully, you guys are Saskatchewan now, right?
Yes.
But that wasn't the case.
No.
No.
Okay, and people don't even know why I think they can see a guitar somewhere in the back, so they're going to assume you guys are musicians.
Yes.
And let me just tell you that amazing musicians. Folks, you're in for a treat, because we're going to have a performance from the Grid Pickers very shortly to kick things off. But tell me a little bit about the name and your guys, well, your names. Let's go with that.
Mike. My name's Mike. I go by Mike.
I'm Rachel.
Mike and Rachel, awesome.
Yeah.
And what brought you guys to Saskatchewan?
You know, we did a lot of traveling kind of in our teens and when we were younger. And Saskatchewan kind of always had a draw for us, just the culture and kind of the heritage of the farmers and the history where it's kind of still alive. You know, we like to say it's like, you know, some places in Saskatchewan really like just walking into the past, really. You know, people are still using tractors they used 60, 70, 80 years ago. You know, they're living on the same chunks of land that their grandparents pioneered. So I think that was kind of the interest for me.
Had a lot of, like me especially, I had a lot of interest in learning how to can and learning how to live more off the land, and this seemed like a really awesome place to learn those things, and so I did.
Yeah, and you guys just don't walk the walk, you talk the talk, right? I mean, it's everything, right? You guys live on an acreage, you know, in the forest, sort of, on some awesome farmland in a beautiful area of Saskatchewan. How did you come to settle here, in this specific?
We were so, you know, like I said, we were travelers, and it got to the point where it was like we just needed somewhere to be. We didn't really care where it was. As long as it was kind of in the area that we wanted, we couldn't care less what town was close by. You know, we're not sticklers to a certain area. It was just all of Saskatchewan was kind of an option for us.
We like the bush around here, though, for sure. Like, and it's almost like you want to do something with your life, and it doesn't really matter where you're doing it as long as you're doing it. And being here was really helpful because I learned a lot of really good skill and could apply that to what I wanted to do.
And yeah, you're right. There is a little bit of a forest surrounding here, and then to me, I love that. I think that's important, not to just have cleared the land totally, and it's just you know, the wind blows and everybody feels it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
How would you guys characterize your music? And we're gonna hear a sample right away, right? I mean, it's such a cool combination of so many things, but it's, you know, I don't want to say. How do you guys describe it?
Well, a lot of people describe us as traditionally untraditional because there's so many aspects of our music that is traditional. Like we take old time music and bluegrass and blues even, and all sorts of stuff, and we kind of make it ours by not only writing music, we don't just play covers, and so writing music, no matter what, is always going to make it new, and so, yeah.
I like the idea of not settling for one kind of genre. You know, people a lot of times assign themselves to a genre, and they say, I'm only listening to country, and I'm only listening to rock and roll, or whatever it may be, and if you flip through our CDs, you'll find stuff from, you know, Norwegian black metal to old gospel from the 30s, tent revival stuff, to you know, to old time, to punk rock even. You know, we have a lot of influences, and we try to keep that afloat in kind of how we have our band and how we make our music.
And I guess in a way you could say, and I don't know if you like this word or not, but hip seems to be, you know.
It's not a compliment.
You know.
Yeah, thank you.
It's popular with you know, the college and university crowd, and I won't just say hipsters, okay, because that can sometimes, you know, they jump on the bandwagon, but your music is almost what I would think the lineage of Saskatchewan music should be, you know, with guys my age and my, you know, my grandparents, and building off that, and this is where it would progress if it wasn't for bands like AC/DC that everyone listens to now, you know, because it's cool. But you know, you guys seem to have it's an evolution of influences.
And I think it comes by accident, to be honest. Like, we just write what is inside of you, and I think any musician could tell you that is you have music inside of you and it's kind of brewing to come out and it's insatiable. And so you write the music and it's relieving. And you don't really do it on purpose. It's not, there's not a formula to be hip or whatever, like you said. We basically just sing about what we do every day. You know, we sing about the country, we sing about, you know, traveling different days and all sorts of things, and we sing all about that, and it just comes out in a certain way and kind of envelops this newness, or like the way that our lives are.
Mm-hmm.
So let's set up this first song, and I can't wait to hear it. Where did this come from? Whose idea was this?
You want to do it?
Yeah, well, part of our collecting of music and our kind of nerding out of music, you know, we come across these old scratchy recordings from the 20s, you know, 20s and 30s. And so this is a song that we're going to play. It's called Arizona Yodeler, and it's by a group named the Cackle Sisters. And we believe it was written in 1937. And we stumbled upon it in kind of our digging of old-time music, and we fell in love with it. So we'll sing it for you. Way out in Arizona, in the town they call Winona, folks they all know a thing or two. There's a lot of great ambition set on his life's mission to excel from the hill. In the evening in the cactus, he would get a lot of practice without any no. And the cattle he was trailing would always hear him wailing his howdy. And he played a little tune on his Spanish guitar, mingled with songs of sweet refrain. Once a big shot from the city heard him warbling a ditty, accompanied by Yodeler. And he said, "Look here, my sonny, you can make a lot of money with your Yodeler." So our hero took a dip and packed his ribbons, took a trip in to sing over the radio to you. If the Swiss heard what he's earning, real envy they'd be turning with his own Yodeler. And he played a little tune on his Spanish guitar, mingled with songs of sweet refrain. Soon he met a little maiden whose talent too was laden, and she fell for him like flowers for the dew. And he wished not to evade her, and he used to serenade her with his honey. And he answered with his yodeler. And he answered with his yodeler. And he played a little tune on his Spanish guitar, mingled with songs of sweet refrain.
So now you guys can play for just about any group of people.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we've had some interesting stuff when we were on this tour this last summer. We went from, you know, like I said, like the punk rock scene, and the guys with the leather jackets and the mohawks that liked us, and then we played, you know, in Wadena we played the church, and it was another great show, you know, and we had 65 plus crowd, 55 plus crowd, and they loved every minute of it. So we can, you know, we can play the bar crowd if we need to, or we can have a sit down kind of folky set when we need to. So I think that we're pretty good at like kind of manipulating our shows to suit whoever's kind of in the building or in the room.
And that's where not sticking to one genre really helps, because you can kind of transcend the box that some musicians have to work in. We don't do that. Like because it's all original and super honest, all what we're doing by playing for people is taking them into our lives and talking to them about what we do in a snapshot, and anybody can enjoy that, a child or an older person.
Okay, so if somebody's watching, and that's the whole purpose here that I'm getting at, is we're going to leave some contact information for them to get a hold of you guys.
Sure.
You know, and maybe there's, you know, there's so many ideas where they could get you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you say, in a bar, warming up a band, headlining, you know, at a bar, at a restaurant, you know, at the house parties that they have, you know, churches, fundraisers.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
Yeah, there's so many things out there where people are looking for something different, you know, and you guys are definitely it. And I mean that in a great way. You know, it's
Thank
so
you.
awesome to see, you know, it's just you two, really. You know, like you probably just need a microphone, and for that you could probably just do it without, right?
Yeah,
which
we
we have
often
done.
do that, yeah, because you can't, it's the whole dynamics of trying to microphone acoustic instruments, but we always perform better when we're standing right next to each other. We can look each other's faces and really hear each other. That's when we perform the best because it's really dynamic. But you're right, yeah, we can play all sorts of different things, and we've played fundraisers and big festivals. We played All Folked Up last year. Yeah, and it's great because a lot of people came out because they were really curious about this new Saskatchewan act, right? And so
Which is actually an old act.
what?
You know, because we've been playing together for so long, and because of our transientness, we just change the name every little while, and so I think that people think that we're this breaking band, you know, just because we put the grid pickers on it for the first, you know, for a year or 2 or 3 or
Well, I think we started taking it more seriously too. Like
for sure.
I do like all the booking, and we, you know, do all of our own images, and we're like very strictly DIY. We record all of our own music, do all the artwork, and we get our friends to take the photos, and like we just do it ourselves, which is an extreme amount of work, but it starts to pay off when people start to notice and appreciate the amount of work and the quality that goes into it.
Oh yeah, and you could see that on your website too. You know, you guys got a lot of pictures, black and white, and I should tell the audience it's kind of miserable raining out. It's you know, we're almost into November, and it would have been nice to see the yard, but hopefully we'll be invited back because you guys, like I say, you guys, you know, you talk the talk, you walk the walk. It's you go out there and there's wood to be chopped and there's forest
right.
around there, and it's just perfect. It's you guys are not phony. That comes from the heart. You could see it the minute you drive in the yard. You know, and now you also have CDs for sale, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
We have 2 albums for sale.
Yeah, we
last
have them
2
on.
winters.
Yeah, the last 2 winters we recorded 2 albums, so we kind of just barfed them out really quickly and recorded them ourselves in the house. But we have them on our website for sale, but also on Bandcamp. If anybody wants to look, it's bandcamp.com, and you just kind of search the Grid Pickers. Yeah, and it's there for digital and hard copy.
And you record everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
And have you recorded everything here? Meaning, like, you know, you've got was the first album recorded in this house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we've
Awesome.
always been in favor, kind of our whole musical careers of recording it ourselves and doing it ourselves as much as possible. As we, you know, we have kids now, so it's a little bit different, you know, and like we ask friends for help, and we even give a couple dollars when we can to our friends to take pictures or do graphic design or whatever. But we try to keep it as much in the house as possible, and we've even turned down people that kind of want to cut in and say, hey, you know, we can help you do all this, and we're like, you know, we don't really need you, you know, we're doing just fine on our own.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our stance for our band and for our lives, really, you know. It's the reason why we do that as a band is the same reason why we live on the farm here, and the same reason why we do all the things that we do.
Yeah. It's working for yourself.
it's being independent and creative on your own terms. And so when you do that, there's a certain satisfaction that most people can't even imagine. What's it like? You know, can you explain that to the layman, what it's like to go out in front of a crowd and play your own songs for them and have people enjoy them?
It's really like interesting, you know. It's because, you know, like you were saying before about, you know, it's like you can't really pick who's going to listen to you. You can't really pick who's going to like your songs or what songs they're going to like or what words they're going to like in that song. And so it's kind of interesting when we've kind of isolated ourselves here in a way just to be more creative. And so when we basically just sing about, you know, the basics of life and how we chop wood and we burn with wood and we love the woods, and, you know, we plant gardens and we have animals, and we used to love traveling and we still love traveling, and when it all comes down and comes back around, it's really interesting to hear people appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a big pat on the back when you can reach somebody, you know, from across the country or across the ocean even, and they say to you, like, you know, that song changed my life, or that song made my summer, or that song helped me through the hardest times of my life. You know, it's kind of a humbling experience when you realize that you're opening yourself up, and not only are you taking it, but somebody else is taking it too, and they're opening themselves up at the same time.
I think a lot of our like aspects of our life, like are kind of romanticized, whether they're easy or not. It's certainly romanticized. Like we live off the grid, and so a lot of people really romanticize that aspect. Or like you were saying, like having to chop wood and all these things. Like this is not new to a lot of people, but to most it really is. Like to be really responsible for your own warmth and your own electricity and your own like life, basically. A lot of people don't experience that and are really afraid to. So I think that when we can sing about these things and kind of bring them into our world, it's like a treasure, you know, for some people, and it feels good for us to give that and it be respected, because it's a very vulnerable position to be in, to show someone your heart, right?
What's the toughest part of living off the grid?
Not being able to leave.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of a mix of the old life and the new life, the old ways and the new ways. That for me, you know, like it's good every day of the year until you get the minus 45, 50 with the wind, you know, 55 even. You know, and then things start happening, you know, every little thing that you still have to do because it's that cold, you still have to do it. So there's not a lot of sitting inside, you know, doing nothing. There's no wasting time, and regardless of the weather, and that's why you'll catch us in the rain doing stuff. You know, when it rains like this, I'm thinking I should be out pounding posts. You know, it's loosened the ground up a little bit.
Because when it's, like you say, 40 below and with the wind chill, yeah, this is the coldest place on earth some days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, without being, you know, exaggerating, and nothing works and everything breaks at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because people, like, you know, after we'll get a week of minus 40 with the wind, and you'll get people, our neighbors will come over and say, "Are you guys okay? You know, we know you guys only heat with wood," and we're being like, "Man, are you guys okay? You know, like you guys only heat with a furnace." So, you know, so kind of it's a little bit of a view on it.
Yeah, I actually like don't really think it's that different, electricity wise, because electricity is electricity regardless of where you get it from. You're still plugging your phone in, or you're still plugging something in. We just have a lot less of it, and so it's really easy to be mindful when you're like, we don't have enough power left, you know, we can't do this thing, you know, we can't watch this movie, like we have to read a book, we have to hang out as a family. Like those things are blessings in disguise. So I kind of just accept them and enjoy it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something a lot of people don't understand, and is that something you guys want to perpetuate in your writing?
Yeah, of course.
I think that yes, but I think that, to clarify, we don't like to tell other people what to do. I don't like to be the poster child for something. Like, I think that it's important to sing about what you do and be real. And that's basically what we're singing about. We're not telling everybody to go out and buy solar panels and stick them on their house. We're not telling everybody to go chop wood. It's basically, you do what you do, I do what I do. Here is a glimpse into it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And
There's no,
this is how we do it. That's
exactly.
all.
There's no manipulative political reasoning why we do that. We're doing it because we want to.
Oh, you guys are totally real, like from every aspect. Now, about the tour before we end off with another performance. So do you go on tour every summer, or was this new this year?
We used to tour quite a bit. Like we were in bands before, me and Rachel. Same sort of genre, same sort of music, mostly just our music with other people. We've toured a few times. We've done the coast to coast thing a couple times as bands. So yes and no, you know, we when we bought the farm, we decided we were going to settle down. You know, we wanted off kind of the rough road and the hard road, so we bought the farm. We had some kids, you know, we did the farm stuff, and so it was kind of a rebirth for us to go on tour again. You know, it's all of a sudden we were seeing the same cities that we've seen a million times, but we're seeing them in this whole new light. So yeah, I think that it was definitely very, very unique.
And the difference this time for us is that we took it way more seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I made a press kit. We did everything ourselves. You know, we got high resolution photos. We did a lot of promotion. Not like from the farm, not knowing really what to do. We just kind of followed our heart and did a lot of promotion, did a lot of things ourselves. And it paid off because I started applying for grants, and then we got a grant from Creative Saskatchewan, which helped us to go on tour for sure. Like, we drive an old tour bus, which takes a lot of gas, and if it wasn't for them, like, we would have struggled a lot. And so it was really nice to be rewarded and appreciated and seen as legitimate, even though we were doing it ourselves. Because I think a lot of artists that do things themselves, people kind of see as amateur, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, you can still have the same quality and not be represented by someone else.
Did you guys tour? Like, did you go to BC, Alberta?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did Winnipeg to Vancouver Island, and then up to Smithers, Prince George. Yeah, we kind of did it.
That's a long way to go.
Yeah.
When in a
That's
school
what the
bus.
speedometer says.
Yeah. When do you remember what venue you played in Winnipeg? I'm a Winnipeg boy.
Yes, we played the neighborhood bookstore in
And where is that?
Wolseley.
Wolseley.
Okay,
area.
yeah. Wolseley is a very cool area.
Yeah, we were really
Yeah,
happy.
and we played north of there about an hour at the
Oh wait, what was it called? Sorry, the Rainbow
The
Bookstore.
neighborhood.
Neighborhood. Okay, maybe it was at one time now the Rainbow Bookstore. They have a lot of really cool cult books and stuff.
They do, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure that's the same
Yeah,
place.
it's got to be. I
Cool.
love that place. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
also played north of there at DIY Homesteader Festival, which was really fun. Yeah, so we kind of went all over the place.
Yeah, we
all in
had
the
we
west.
had dates in Saskatchewan, a couple of good
Yep.
dates, and a couple of dates in Alberta, and we moved around pretty quick. We had a show every day or other day, or
We played 32 dates.
yeah,
on
32
tour.
dates in
Oh,
the
wow.
summer. And some of
So-
them were big festivals and stuff.
So now we're going to end off here, and I thank you guys so much for allowing me into your house and your homestead. So before we learn a little bit about this song, how about give us your contact information where people can get a hold of you?
Sure. We have a website, so www.thegridpickers.com, and there's pretty much links to everything else, but we're also on Facebook. You just look us up, and Bandcamp, like I mentioned before. We have physical copies of our CDs for sale and MP3s. So, yeah.
We also have some videos that we made
Yes.
on YouTube, so if you're really, really inclined, you can always Google the Grid Pickers on the YouTube and make it work out.
You know, for guys living off the grid, you certainly have got the social media
we
stuff.
we have to
We
we have
try.
to we have to contract some of that out because we're really computer illiterate. We literally have computers from 15 years ago. You know,
Or-
Wood burning computers.
Yeah,
I
pretty much.
wish, honestly.
yeah, they're big, boxy, old.
But
Yeah,
again, what he's
outdated.
saying, like on YouTube, those videos that we made, again, were super DIY. We filmed them on the farm. Really, like, we really put a lot of work into it. So,
Yeah, check it out.
yeah, check it out.
Okay, so set up this last song then.
I
Go
don't
for
even
it,
know
yeah.
what do you, okay. So this last song is basically, it's called Come On Sun, and we entered it in the CBC Searchlight contest, so some of you may have heard it before. But it's a song about spring, basically.
Spring on the prairies.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's so great.
Yeah, we like playing it. It's kind of one of our older songs. It's been around
Yeah.
for 6 years, at least 6-7 years. So
It's kind of like just standing on your back porch and just wanting the sun and wanting the warmth in the summer so badly, and just kind of asking for it.
yeah, it's been well received everywhere we played it. You know, it got second place in the Moose Jaw Sidewalk Days this summer. You know, yeah, it's been played on the radio a few times, so it's kind of nice to hear it's been coming back around that it's a good song. So yeah, the song's called Come On Sun.
And here they are, the Grid Pickers. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Okay.
hot, there's grounds in my coffee, ticks on my back, and I can't get 'em off me. Stand on the back porch waiting for the sunrise. And one soul comes, there's a baby in the basket. One soul leaves, there's a friend in the casket. Stand on the back porch waiting for the sunrise. The grass grows greener with a little bit of sunshine. Every now and then need a little bit of downtime. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. You better be sure that the path that you're taking don't lead you for the rules to break in. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. So come on, son. The grass grows greener with a little bit of sunshine. Every now and then need a little bit of downtime. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. You better be sure that the path that you're taking don't lead you for the rules to break in. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. The grass grows greener with a little bit of sunshine. Every now and then need a little bit of downtime. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. You gotta be sure that the path that you're taking don't lead you from the rules to break in. The winter's gone, the spring has sprung. So come on, son.